Mic check, 1, 2. Finally came back to you. Thought I forgot about you, but I don't forget. Every single thing that I do is on my mind and shit. Hey, 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 hey. Yo, what's going on? This show right here is dedicated to somebody who's probably not watching. The name is Sweet Savage, a young woman who I met on some, what channel was that? I can't remember what channel that was. I think it was probably like Family Guy or some shit like that. But I told her that I would teach her French, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna teach her French. That's right, I'm gonna teach French. Now, I don't really like to teach French because I think there are more important languages to learn. But I don't know how I can really honestly get away with saying that because I learned French before I learned other languages. So it wouldn't quite be fair for me to not share French with you people. So give your thanks to Sweet Gemini, because if it weren't for her, I would not, what did I say? Sweet Savage. I'm mixing up the females. But Sweet Savage. Give your thanks to Sweet Savage. Alright. We're gonna start this off pretty simple. I'm gonna introduce you to the French language. Then I'm gonna give you everything you need to continue your French journey without me. The French language, of course, is based in a country known as France. But something that's a little bit beyond the obvious is that French is really uh, from Rome. It's based on the Latin language. Right? So it's a Romance language. And as a Romance language, it follows the rules of all other Romance. If it follows, the same set of rules as other Romance languages. So if you know Spanish, you are at an advantage. Or if you know any other Romance language, you will be at an advantage when it comes to learning French. If you don't know any other Romance languages, It might be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to make it easy. That's what I'm here for. Alright, so as I get my mind ready to go into this deep lesson, in fact, I'm just going to try to run so much French by you that it makes your head spin. I'm going to try to overdose you with French. I guess it's safe to say that this is French for English speakers. French for English speakers. Alright? So, my aim is to help you acquire practical knowledge of French as quickly and as naturally as possible. Alright? Now, normally a language is conveyed by words. I'll say first and foremost, all languages are conveyed by these things known as words. And for over 100 years, we have dedicated ourselves, well, I'd say since time immemorial, human beings have dedicated themselves to the teaching and utilization of language, especially spoken language. So you're probably tuning into this video because you just you strolled around, you said you were trying to learn French in a really rough but quick way, efficient way. All right? So you probably want to communicate in French on maybe a vacation or maybe for business or just with friends and family. So the most useful method of communication is going to be speaking. So I'm going to focus more on speaking than writing, but I am going to make sure that you have everything you need for writing French, because that I think is probably the best way to learn the language without having access to that many francophones. And if you didn't know, francophone is how you say English, French speaker. Anyone who speaks French is technically a francophone. Likewise, anyone who speaks English is technically an anglophone. Alright? So anyhow, without getting too deep into linguistics, let's go ahead and get this thing started. So anyhow, so the ultimate basis of this program is to give you every possible chance to participate in, to carry on a dialogue, or in other words, to just speak. Alright? So here are a few things that you're probably going to need to do. First, listen to a scene. Listen to those scenes that I'm going to create in the French language. Just listen. You don't have to try to understand, but just listen. Don't try to join in, just listen. Then I need you to listen again. Once you listen once, I need you to listen again. And on the second time that you're listening, I need you to attempt to identify one or two words. And after that, I need you to go over it again. You could use Google Translate, and you can write notes, take notes. But essentially what you're going to need to do is just go over this video several times until you get a good and thorough understanding of all of the French that will be included in it. That is included in it. Alright? So getting the most out of this video, I'd say you would need to set aside specific times for French study. Maybe every Friday you can Study for an hour, or maybe every Friday, Sunday, and maybe Tuesday. All right. And then um, just be sure that you master each section. I'll let you know where things section off. And try to master each section before you move on to the next. Because each section is going to build on the next. So if you have a weak prior section, then it's going to eventually lead to a weak post section. All right? So do your best to speak out loud every time. Try to copy exactly how I pronounce it. And also, be forgiving when you make mistakes. Just know that those were inevitable. Everyone makes lots of mistakes when they're learning a new language. Even children, when they're learning English as a brand new human beings, they make all kinds of mistakes. That's okay. In fact, it's necessary. Now, do your best to imitate. Don't be afraid of just getting very deep into the imitation, but imitate the French as well. All right, so we're going to start off. Scène 1. Prologue. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Now, if you didn't get what écouter means, it simply means to listen. It's a polite command to listen. Écoutez. And it's spelled E-C-O-U-T-E-Z. Now, the E has an accent over it. And that's an accent that is low at the front, high at the end. Alright? Écoutez. And it has a Z. Remember, it has a Z at the end. If you were reading it as if it were English, you would say écoutez. But because you know French, you pronounce it écoutez. Now, you'll learn more about how to pronounce French that you read. But really all you need to take from this right now is if you want to tell somebody to listen in French, just say écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Listen to the music. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez la musique. Une voiture. Un Chevrolet. Une voiture américaine. Et ça? Et ça? Une voiture. Un Chevrolet. Une voiture américaine. Une voiture. That's a way of saying a car. Notice that a in French, in the phrase a car, is une. And that's feminine. One thing you have to get used to with French is the masculine and the feminine, which does not exist in the same way in English. An example in English would be actor and actress, waiter and waitress. The waitress is feminine, the waiter is masculine. Yet we're dealing with nouns here and not well, we're dealing with nouns. But this is true for all nouns in French. Now, there are some neutral nouns, but there's really no way of telling that it's neutral. And so, traditionally, feminine nouns end in the letter E. And masculine nouns end in some consonant letter. But you can't always be sure of that. You have to know which article goes with which noun. So if you have to guess and the word ends in an E, then you would go with la, as in écouter la musique, because music is feminine in French. If you said écouter le musique, you would be incorrect, although some people would probably still understand you. So the masculine article in French is le, and the feminine article is la. Écoutez la musique, and think about that. And I was talking to myself. So please note that une voiture is a feminine noun phrase. Un Chevrolet is also feminine because Chevrolet, although it's a proper noun and it ends in a T, because it refers to a car, it's still feminine. Une voiture américaine. Américaine is an adjective that modifies voiture. Because une voiture is feminine, américaine, the adjective, has to correspond, and so it's américaine. And it's a very subtle sound at the end of American, and that's the N. American. American. And that's how you know it's feminine. If this were being applied to some masculine noun, it would be Américain. Subtle difference. But I suppose this is what makes French beautiful. And so the next thing in scène un, which means scene one, is esa, which is and this. So how do you say and in French? Et, and it's spelled E-T. How do you say ça in French? Or how do you say this in French? It is ça, and this it is spelled C-A. The only difference between the C and any other C that we're used to is that this C has a special little tail that hangs down on the bottom of it. And you'll know it when you see it. It means the word this. Esa and this. All right. So the answer to that, if I were pointing to some car and I said, hey, this is une voiture américaine. And I can point, I can say, un Chevrolet. There's a Chevrolet, or a Chevrolet. I can point at something else, and I can maybe say, c'est une Toyota. C'est une Toyota. C'est is a way to say, this is. It's actually like we have in English, where we combine words with apostrophes. Instead of saying I did not, you can say I didn't. And if you say I didn't, you understand the concept of how you can just smash words together. That same phenomenon occurs in French, but only in a different way. Instead of the not, or not even when we're using negative adverbs. But when we say this is, for some reason that is brought together. And that's one thing you'll notice in French, that for the most part, vowels do not follow one another, especially when it signifies two different words. They're normally slammed together. So instead of saying ça est, or this is, you say c'est. Now, in this instance is not spelled E-T. It's actually spelled E-S-T. So that's se, which is C apostrophe E-S-T. It's pronounced se. C'est une, and un, of course, you know, is the feminine article for one, um, which would be equivalent to la as far as the singular article or the definite article. The indefinite article is une. So I say c'est une Toyota. That means this is a Toyota. Okay? Une voiture japonaise. Okay? Une voiture japonaise, which means a Japanese car. So the way you say Japanese in French is japonais. Now I said japonais because I'm still thinking about Spanish, but in French the J is actually a J and not a hard H. Une voiture japonaise because it's feminine. Et ça, c'est une voiture française. Un Puego. Alright? So this is a voiture française. This is a French car. Française. F-A-R-C with the tail, or they call it a cedilla. A-I-S-E, because it's feminine. If it were masculine, it would be français. Alright? Un Puego. Oui, un Puego. And I might be pronouncing the name of that brand of car wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's spelled P-E-U-G-E-O-T. I know that I have the second syllable correct, well, at least the last part of the second syllable. The T would be silent, but it's spelled P-E-U-G-E-O-T. Puego. La Puego est une voiture française. Répétez. And every time I say répétez, I mean repeat after me in a polite way. La Toyota est une voiture japonaise. Et la Chevrolet est une voiture américaine. Répétez. Américaine. Japonaise. Française. Bien, which means good or well. Écoutez. C'est un taxi. Now, taxi is the first masculine noun that we have come across. Notice that it is not c'est un taxi, it is c'est un taxi. And un is how you pronounce un when you take off the E. So un, the indefinite article that stands for a in English, the word a in English, the feminine form is une, the masculine form is un. Think Master P. Make you say C'est un taxi. Now you don't normally pronounce the letters on the end of words unless the following word begins with a vowel. C'est un taxi. C'est un taxi. Alright, so répétez. Un taxi, une voiture. Une. Une. C'est Pierre. Alright? So you know that c'est means this is. C'est Pierre. That means, this is Pierre. Maintenant, écoutez. Maintenant is a French word that means now. It's spelled M-A-I-N-T-E-N-A-N-T. It looks like main tenant, but you pronounce it maintenant. Maintenant. So I say, now listen, maintenant écoutez. Une horloge, which is a clock. Une, a, horloge, clock. Horloge is spelled Horloge. Une horloge, a clock. Notice that the initial H in horloge is usually silent in French. Horloge. Horloge. C'est une horloge. Horloge is feminine. Une horloge. A clock. C'est une horloge. Répétez. Répétez après Pierre. Alright? Après means after. A-P-R-E-S. Après. There is an accent over the après. And that accent is high at the front, low at the end. Alright? You don't really need to think too hard about the accents in French right now. But just do your best to kind of have an idea that accents are being used in French. Alright? Un. So répétez. Un. Un. And what does that mean? It means one, which is the number. It could mean a, but it also means the number one. Un. Scène un. Scene number one. Well, let's get into these other numbers. Deux, which is two. Trois, three. Quatre, four. Cinq, five. Six, six. Sept, seven. So we'll stop there. Sept heures, which means 7 hours. And that translates to 7 o'clock in English. In French, instead of saying o'clock, they simply say hours. So when you're telling time in French, you don't need to say o'clock or horloge. You just say which is how you say hours in French. And that's spelled Heures. Notice that the way they spell things in French can be confusing, but you will get used to it over time. After 7, you have huit. And now the numbers are kind of interesting because some of these numbers violate the rules right off the bat, especially sept, six, and huit, or six, sept, and huit, which all end in consonants, yet they are pronounced. Six, also cinq. Cinq ends in a Q, and you do pronounce the Q. This is not normally what you do in French, but the numbers violate the rules right off the bat. So it's really about remembering. Six, six, sept, 7, which is, it looks just like the abbreviation of September. SEPT, 7. Now you might wonder why September the 9th month instead of the 7th month. Well, just do a little research on the Julian calendar or the calendar before the Julian calendar, and you'll understand. 8 heures, 8 o'clock, or 8 hours. Alright? Now, wheat is spelled H-U-I-T. The H is silent, and you're left with the U-I and the T, or wheat. And that's how you say 8 in French. So we say, il est 8 heures. That means it's 8 o'clock. Alright? Neuf is the next number after 8. And neuf naturally means 9. It's spelled N-E-U-F. It also breaks the rule of the no need to pronounce consonants at the end of words. Il est 9 heures. It's 9 o'clock. 9 heures. Il est 9 heures. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. Oh la la. Il est 9 heures. Now, oh la la, you've probably heard that before, and it's just an interjection that means something kind of like, oh my. It can convey nearly any emotion, both dismay and surprise. Oh la la, la la, oh la la, il est 9 heures. So there's something going on, but at 9 o'clock we were supposed to be doing something. Oh my, oh la la, il est 9 heures. C'est Monsieur Clément, le professeur. It's Monsieur Sector, le professeur. It's Mr. Sector, or Clement, the professor. The professor is masculine in this case. And so it has the definite article of le. C'est Monsieur, and Monsieur means Mr. C'est Monsieur Sector, le professeur. It's Mr. Sector, the professor. Monsieur Clément, or rather Monsieur Sector. Alright? You call me either one of those. Oui, entrez. Now, oui is how you say yes in French. Entrez is how you say come in. So imagine somebody knocks at your door. Oui, entrez. Come on in. Ah, Pierre, bonjour. As soon as I see my friend Pierre, I say hello to him. Bonjour is a way of saying hello. It technically means good day. Pierre will probably say bonjour right back to me because he's not rude. Bonjour, monsieur. Hello, sir. Monsieur is a way of saying Mr. or Sir. Il est 9 heures. Il est 9 heures. Is it 9 o'clock? Est-ce qu'il est 9 heures? Is it 9 o'clock? Est-ce qu'il est 9 heures? Now, est-ce qu'il est means is it 9 o'clock. Now, this is a complex little phrase, and I'll just spell it out. It's EST-CE, which technically would translate to is it. All right? Qu'il est, Q-U apostrophe I-L-E-S-T, or Q-U apostrophe I-L space E-S-T, which would mean that it is. So, is it that it is? I know it sounds convoluted and heavy, but this is the traditional way in French of asking if something is so. Is it that it is? Is it that it is 9 heures? Est-ce qu'il est 9 heures? Oui, monsieur. Il est 9 heures. It is 9 o'clock. Questions. Il est 9 heures? Non. Il n'est pas 9 heures. Non is how you say no in French. Sounds about the same. It's only spelled with an N added to the end of it. Non, il n'est pas 6 heures. Répétez. Question. Est-ce qu'il est 7 heures? Non. Non, il n'est pas 7 heures. Est-ce qu'il est 8 heures? Non, il n'est pas 8 heures. Is it 8 o'clock? Is it 7 o'clock? No, it's not 7 and it's not 8. Oh la la, il est 9 heures. Quelle heure est-il? Next phrase. Quelle. Quelle. What? Quelle heure n'est-il? Or quelle heure est-il? What time is it? Or what hour is it? Il est 9 heures. Pardon? Quelle heure? 9 heures. Ah, merci. Merci is how you say thank you. Alright? So we have reached fin de la scène 1, which is the end of scene 1. I want you guys to marinate on that. Think about it. If you like the video, please like it or click the like button, thumbs up, to share it with others. Um, if you need help pronouncing anything or you want any other sort of assistance, just please leave it in the comments. Alright? So now you know how to say everything you need to get started in French. Alright? And there we go. We'll pick this up a little bit later with scène 2. Écoutez la musique. Ah, merci. Et le nouveau mot, c'est aujourd'hui.